How's it going, people, and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new show every week, game week preview. We're going to be previewing the upcoming game for Arsenal, as well as looking at the fixtures in and around our league position and talking to opposition fans about those fixtures and how it can impact us, Arsenal, and the league table following that round of results. What are you saying, Sis?
I'm good, Turks. I'm excited for this. This is, like I said, like you just said there, a new concept, new show, and get to know, obviously, we're going to keep it to the fans around us, which you just said there. That's what you're going to hear from, and that's what makes it kind of unique as well. It's something different. It's something, that I think is needed. We want to make a community of fans and, talk about, obviously, keep it related to Arsenal and whatnot. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Obviously, Newcastle, we got the early morning kickoff tomorrow. I don't know how I'm even feeling. Obviously, off the back of the Liverpool game, 4-0. I'm feeling like we're the wounded animal. I think Liverpool were that when they played us. I feel like we're that now, and we have to have a reaction, a response from the players, and I expect to see that against Newcastle tomorrow. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm very excited for that 12:30 kickoff. Obviously, here at the Emirates at home, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. I'm worried. One thing I'm worried about though, I know it's random. The weather, right? They're predicting it's going to be snowing tomorrow. Now, I don't know how these new players, the new signings, some of the foreign players are going to adapt to that. I think when I went to Brighton away, and it was torrential rain, I think the players did struggle. The weather was awful, but I think they did struggle due to that as well.
Can they do it in a cold night in Stoke? That old phrase comes to mind.
That's exactly that. So that is something I'm being intrigued to see. There's going to be obviously a big conversation over who starts left back tomorrow. Do you keep Tavares?
I think the conversation has been settled.
Serious, yeah?
Because it was always, we always looked at Tierney as the efficient one, the one that, a bit more predictable, but the efficiency makes up for that.
Yeah.
We looked at Tavares coming in, unpredictable, he took his chance well, and I think going into that Liverpool game, I think he deserved to keep his position. Even though I would have played both of them in that game to double up on the Salah and Trent threat, I would have played Tierney left back and then Tavares ahead of him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It wasn't to be, but I think that game kind of showed a bit of naivety from Tavares. He's still young, it's a new league for him. So I think Tierney needs to come straight back in. He's one of our leaders already. He's one of the players I think the rest of our young players look at for a bit of inspo, for a bit of motivation on the pitch. He talks a lot, he instructs a lot. So I think we need that sort of character, let alone that sort of player. We need his character on the pitch and we need his qualities on the pitch.
Yeah, I think people are going to say we might be being a bit harsh on Tavares, but you've got to remember he was brought in to be security in his backup. Like that is what he originally came for. Yes, he probably outshined more, obviously due to Tierney being away as well. He filled that spot and done well being there. But
this modern day football I feel sorry for him. It's harsh on him. Oof, don't say that about him. It's like, bro,
it's football. This
is football, entertainment, a lot of eyes, a lot of opinions. That's just part and parcel of it. No one's dissing Tavares here. Like I said, I think we'd all agree that he deserved to play in that game.
Yeah.
But when you look at the game and you look at some of the moments in that game, because for the majority of it, he done well with Salah. But there was moments there that cost him and cost us. And I think that kind of, opens up the door for Tierney to come back in, because as much as he's more predictable, he's more efficient.
Yeah.
So for me, he needs to come back in.
I hear that. And now that we've started the show and we're in it, I just want to say it is Black Friday today.
Yep.
And obviously we have our own merch, we have our own store. So make sure you guys go check out AFTVstore.com. 25% off just today on all the merch.
This one bangs.
This is
that's the one I got. Black jumper, Thierry. Come on.
Anything with Thierry on, you know I'm there. I'm there, front of the line.
It's got to be done.
Come on, we'd always. So yeah, make sure you go check it out.
It's a nice design as well.
It is. Listen, a lot of the designs on there, guys, go check it out. They are very unique, very different. Obviously, got Red Hot Chili Peppers, but got with Saka in it. The Smiths, we've got Smith Rowe.
89, come on.
Yeah, 89.
For the older fans there, we ain't forgot 89, the Thierrys.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's a nice place to go and get some merch, especially for Christmas and time for Christmas. Go get it for a loved one. But enough of all that. How are you feeling, Turkish, for the game tomorrow? Are you confident? Obviously, it's Newcastle. They're sitting bottom of the table. They haven't actually won a game this season.
No, in any competition.
In any competition.
They got knocked out the League Cup by Burnley at St James's Park.
Had a lot of draws, but
how
no
can
wins.
I not be confident? How can, if we're not confident going into this game at home to the team, bottom of the league, to the team that haven't won a game, then you know, what is the point?
I hear that, but does that not give you a bit of anxiety in the sense of we know Arsenal of all clubs to slip up and us lose our record or not or get that one win for Newcastle? It would be normally Arsenal. Do you not have that in the back of your mind, or are you like, no way, like that's not going to happen?
You know what? That 10-game run didn't fill me with optimism based off of the performances. Right. But what it showed is that, you know, we was grinding out results. In games gone by, in years gone by, potentially the 1-0s against Burnley, the 1-0s against Norwich, or the 1-0s against Watford ending a 1-1, a 2-2, you know. Yeah. So what that run showed me is that we can get over the line now, even if our performances are not up to standard. And I expect that against Newcastle as well. If our performance is up there, then we should make light work of them. If our performance is not up there, we should still get the job done. Well,
yeah, let me throw some stats at you. I know this is kind of James's thing, we'll throw in there. Arsenal never lost to a side bottom of the table when playing against them. So that fills me with a lot of confidence. I'm going to be honest, last season, there was a lot of omens and records that were broken from Arteta negatively last season. But I think we've kind of turned the corner. Obviously, we're definitely not at the end destination, but that fills me with confidence. We've never lost to a team at the bottom of the table. One thing though that I am worried about is, yes, they have conceded the most goals, Newcastle, but they have also scored more than us. So they've conceded the most goals in the league, but they've scored more goals than us. So I worry about their attacking threat, and they have a lot of dangers up front.
I think that bodes well for us as well, because I think Arsenal struggle against teams that set up to stifle us.
Right.
So I think if Newcastle go into this game trying to play on their strengths, which is potentially goal scoring over their defensive, that could pave the way for a high scoring game.
Yeah, so what are you saying there? You're saying that you want them, so you're wanting them to go more attacking, because we have a solid defence right now. But them having a weak defence benefits us, because our attacking isn't, if I'm honest, hasn't been that great.
But look at the 10-game run, yeah? If you look at Burnley, Norwich and Watford, 1-0 wins. Decent enough performance, you know, but 1-0 wins. Yeah. And then you look at Leicester, 2-0. Tottenham, 3-1. Villa, all decent margins.
Yeah, true.
Why? Because Villa, Leicester and Spurs approached the game different to Watford, Norwich and Burnley.
Very true.
So it was more open for us to pick off opportunities. And I think Newcastle will probably come into the game looking to score goals. They're not going to come into the game looking to stifle us, in my opinion, because as you said, defensively they've been poor this season. So it's got to be a balance for them.
Yeah, I think they'll go at it. I think they have a lot of most of their threat is attacking. Callum Wilson's, the Saint Maximin, who by the way has been on great form this season. Someone that potentially would be a good question to ask. Would you take Saint Maximin at Arsenal, in the sense of, obviously Pepe is that kind of sort of player that we would relate him to, but he hasn't really kicked off Pepe, unfortunately, here at Arsenal. So would you take Saint Maximin, or do you think he's not clinical enough? Because his numbers have started to change, 3 assists and 3 goals.
Saint Maximin is an interesting one. I'd take him, but I'm not sold on him yet.
Okay.
You know, I think he's done enough to say there's a player in there, but is that player ready for the top level is the question. I liken him to Adama Traore a bit.
Okay.
Where there's moments in Adama Traore's career, I would say, I want that guy.
Yeah.
But there's other moments where it's like, I don't know if he'll be able to do what modern day football wants a man to do. It also reminds me a bit of Walcott, where Walcott technically wasn't the best, ball at the feet wasn't the best, but you feed him through, you know, his pace will cause problems. Now with Saint Maximin, he's much better on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I believe can make the difference. So I'd take Saint Maximin, but at the same time, I don't think that would be my priority if we go for that position.
I agree. I agree. I would like Saint Maximin because he's a player that can create something out of nothing.
Look at us talking about taking a player from the richest club in the world. Who the hell do we? I forget. We're talking about Newcastle on one hand. They're the richest club in the world.
Yeah. Oh, how do we forget that? And that bodes the question, which I've been asking everyone and asked the fans. Make sure you go check it out. Who will win the Premier League first, do you think, Turkish? Honestly, Newcastle or Arsenal?
I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to answer that question. Man. No, I'm not answering it. I'm not answering it. And me not answering it kind of tells you what I'm thinking. And I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. Because if someone asked that when Chelsea, you know, got all that money, okay, it's different when Chelsea got all that money because it was just off the back of Invincibles and a great Arsenal side. But when Man City got the money, I think it was safe to say Man City will win the league before Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%.
You fast forward another 10 years on, Arsenal are at 8th place twice, and Newcastle has just become the richest club in the world. on paper, you'd have to say is Newcastle more likely to do it, even though there's a threat of relegation this season, and there is a improvement in Arsenal.
I think that's the big thing. There's a threat of relegation, which kind of throws it off a little bit. But if they do stay up, and once that money gets pumped in, or even from January, I mean, we'll know a lot from their January window. But yeah.
Because what it is, if this process at Arsenal is to be believed in, if Kroenke finally turned it around, and Arteta is the one, then this process is kind of step by step by step. What that money does for Newcastle is they can just jump 4 steps.
Right.
So depending on relegation this season, because that would be massive for them in terms of their development over the next 4 years. If they manage to avoid relegation, then we could be headed in the right direction all we want. The money they have, straight in. They don't need to have them steps before.
That's very true. That's very true. Like it just propels them forward.
And that's not me saying up there at the top. That's me saying above Arsenal, but Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, who have been more consistent.
And they're way ahead. Let's not.
They're going to need at least 10 years to get to that sort of a level.
Right. So Newcastle, I think the money will definitely help them, and it will give them a jump. But I'm not saying they're going to be competing for the title, but we're going to see progression. It's going to take a few years. Before we go into the lineups, because obviously we obviously do some warm up, we do lineups and predictions. I just want to quickly say that Eddie Howe this morning has been granted. Not permission, but he's going to be on the sidelines for Newcastle. He obviously doing a COVID test, found negative. It's been word that he will be officially on the sidelines for the game. Does that change anything, do you think?
Yeah, he hasn't had time to work with the squad because of this. He hasn't been able to train them, coach them and whatnot. So I don't think it makes much of a difference. It's not like they've got Diego Simeone or Jurgen Klopp on the side who galvanises the fan base.
Yeah.
They've got Eddie Howe. Newcastle fans are in a good place mentally because they've seen a light at the end of the tunnel now.
Yeah.
So I just think the fans are riding the wave. They're hoping for the best this season. And in all honesty, Eddie Howe, it's not the worst appointment. Underwhelming, yes. And I spoke to Matty off the Magpie channel. He said underwhelming, yes. But I think where they're at is trying to avoid relegation. Eddie Howe's been in and around that position with Bournemouth before. If he can keep them up, I think on to the next one for them.
Yeah, I saw the fans singing "Are you watching Eddie Howe?" when they went 1-0 up in their last fixture of Newcastle, but then obviously it didn't end that way, ended in a draw. But that was interesting. But I find it funny that all these new managers are going to be there when we play them. So obviously, Eddie Howe will be there for Newcastle. Ralph Rangnick might be at Man United when we face them. So it'll be interesting. I think it gives them a bit of a different pressure, actually being on the sidelines and fully involved instead of having your interim there. But it'll be good. I still expect us to be confident and go get the win. But let me quickly just run into my...
I'll tell you actually. Let's freestyle this. I think we should keep the lineup till the end. I think we should talk to the opposition fans and at the end of the video we
can build 11 and give our score predictions. Yeah, okay.
That's probably the best thing to do.
Let's do that. I'm with that.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm looking at the league table now. I see West Ham 3 points ahead of us.
Yep.
Playing Man City this weekend at the Etihad. So I think, what better place to start than with a West Ham fan. We have Dan Lawless in the building from West Ham United TV.
Big up, Dan.
So let's have Dan in. Let's have a quick conversation with him about the weekend.
Let's put our aeroplane headphones in.
Yeah, let's put these on. Like Wenger with the coat. Let me get this right. There we go.
It's in my ear.
Dan, you good?
Yes, good boys. How's it going, man? Been enjoying the show in the background and big smile on my face, of course. You lot
are riding high, even with that defeat last week against Wolves. It's you're still smiling, you're still in 4th position. That good old free hit term has come back round.
Ooh. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of the Arsenal fans coming up talking about free hit, and it's become a little bit of a joke. I mean, with this one, I suppose it's like basically if we lose to Man City, although it affects us in the table, it doesn't necessarily define our season or suggest that. We're not as good as we have shown if we do lose this game. We don't want to go out there and hold no 4s or 5s or anything like that. We want to keep it competitive, of course. But yeah, it's not the be all and end all. But really and truly, we need to be getting points because obviously we dropped the points at Wolves. And like I said, we're ahead of you guys, I think, by 3 points and that. And you've got Newcastle. So just on a mentality, like a psychology standpoint, we need to just keep that distance as much as possible. Yeah,
Dan, let me ask you quickly, because that 4th spot, everyone's talking about it is up for grabs in hindsight. We know Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. I think they are in front of us massively, both our clubs. Do you generally believe that 4th spot is there for West Ham, or do you think I don't really know yet. I think it's still going to take a bit of time for me to make a decision on that. Or do you think that full spot is there for you guys? Because I've looked at it. I know Turkish very much says full spot. We're not getting fourth, but the I don't know what it is. The naivety in me, the hopefulness in me says Arsenal could potentially get it. Do you feel that's the same way?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm feeling more now like it's up for grabs as the season has progressed. Now I've seen like what Tottenham are and the real mess that they're in and the work that Conte has. Because when you see Conte come in, you're thinking, damn, okay, they've got a good manager here and he could just turn them back into what they were under Poch. But really, I think that squad is just too big of a job of what they are now. We'll see what Ralph Rangnick can do with Man United. We'll find out in the coming weeks. I know you've got him. I think he's going to be on the touchline, like you were saying, first game with you guys. So we'll have to see where they are. But yeah, I think look between us, between you, Man United, I think there's going to be a battle for that position. And as long as we can strengthen in January, we're very, very, I think we're very sort of positive about getting that. Especially look, Lingard, man, he really come in and rejuvenated us. And if we get him again, then I don't see why we can't get him, man.
Yeah, he's rumored at what? Is he rumored at 10 million to come to you guys? I saw some things around him coming. I think that's quite cheap for him if you guys get him for that. That's a steal.
They turned down 18 million in the summer, and because he's not going away, he's available for free in next summer. That's the price we're talking about now. It's either like take the 10 mil or lose him for nothing in the summer. So
fair.
Is there a worry there that if you look at Joe Willock, who also went out on loan in January to Newcastle and had a very successful 4 or 5 months, similar to Jesse Lingard, they signed Joe Willock and he's had a very poor start to the season. Is there a risk there that with Jesse Lingard returning to West Ham, it will be underwhelming? Now you lot are in top 4 again. Is that the right profile of player you want? Maybe one that hasn't succeeded at a Man. Well, he hasn't succeeded at Man U. He hasn't nailed down his spot. Is that a worry, or are you just riding the wave at the moment and you just want him back based off of what he done?
Yeah, I just think like it's that perfect fit. At West Ham, he come in, he fit in with the squad, the whole, he helped bring a vibe to the team, and he fits in with how Moyes wants to play. He injects that energy, and even when we've seen him play it, the few chances he's actually got at Man United this season, he's done well. He scored a banger against us in the league, so it just seems to be like Ollie had his favourites, and he weren't really getting beyond that. So there's still a quality player in there, and we're going to lose Ben Rama to the African Cup of Nations as well in January. So him coming in as well fills in that spot nicely. And then obviously we're back into the Europa League in March. We've got the FA Cup starting in January. So there's going to be plenty of games there where we need that depth. And January, that's an ideal sort of sign. And we're not going to sign like the next big player in January. That's what you want to see in the summer. So I think it's a good signing if we can get that.
And that makes sense with Ben Rama, heading out to AFCON. It completely that makes a lot more sense. At 10 million, he's experienced in the Premier League. Yeah, I get it. So Dan, talk to me. This weekend, 3 points separate us right now. Is any points going to separate us come Monday morning? What are you thinking?
I would like to say, look, based on I did predict on the Big Six show that we would get a draw, which means that if
Sorry, I had to Dan, I'm sorry. I did this with Liverpool. I was the same thing. I was like, there's the hope in there, like, nah, we can get a point. But I don't know, maybe I respect it, but I'll tell you, I think Man City and Liverpool they're so far ahead. They're crazy.
We narrowly lost away at the Etihad last season, February, right? We really battled them. I think we went 1-0 up, then they got the draw, and then late on in the game, they just snatched that winner. And we don't tend to get smashed at the Etihad. This is what I was saying. Like, traditionally, they smash 4 or 5 past us at our ground, which they didn't do in the cup, but it's usually a little bit more of a tighter game. So I'm expecting that it will be, when it comes to the goals-wise, fine margin, they'll probably dominate the possession. There's a good chance they will win. It's likely, but there's every chance that we can just hold on. You've got the likes of Zuma there at the back, and we'll have Rice. What Rice does is breaking up the play, and protecting the back four. I think there's every chance that we could do it, but you never know. Obviously, they've got that quality where they can just make something out of nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but even if we lose, we're ahead of you guys on goal difference. You know,
they are. The goal difference is so...
Unless they put 10 past us or something like that. Like, you guys score a crazy number against Newcastle. You know,
what are you saying, Dan, about this?
To you guys beforehand, the attacking stats of Arsenal shocked me. Because goals scored, you're 14th. You rank 14th in the league. Open play goals, you rank 19th, because I know you guys have been doing it on the set pieces. What Robbie was saying the other day. Expected goals 12th, big chances 19th, shot conversion 16th, and possession 13th. I was so shocked when I see that. I did not think that it would be.
It's been a long running problem as well. Creativity was an issue last season as well. That just hasn't clicked yet. Now this season, a lot of our success, our brief success over that 10 game, come from defensive structure, organisation, a bit more leadership and ownership at the back. That's been the base of that 10 game run. But there's been moments there where, like the Tottenham first half, we was free flowing, we was creating chances, we was picking them off against Leicester at times, Aston Villa at times. So again, I feel like it just depends on the team we play. When it comes up against the Burnleys, Norwich and Watford, who stifle and sit back, we fail to break them down.
No, it does, Turkish, and also it pains me you reading them stats out, because you talk about set pieces and we scored from free kicks, corners and whatnot, but we haven't scored one penalty this season. How mad's that? We've had penalties, but we haven't had that either.
Missed two, innit?
Yeah. So it's just like, the attacking problem is definitely an issue, and scoring goals, but
Dan,
it changes.
On the big six, you said 3-1 Arsenal. Are you changing that now you've looked into the stats?
I'm changing it. Like, look, I could see a shock draw on this or something like that, but I still think that you guys have got enough to get it done. Like, they're very poor. They can hurt you guys going forward, but I think Ramsdale is doing his thing, man. He's looking really, really strong. Ben White and them. So I think it's 2-1. I'm going to change it to 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1. At home. So we still get the 3 points.
Don't worry, I'm giving you guys the 3 points still. So it could be that we're just ahead of you on goal difference. Then we have to beat Brighton after that to try and keep pace.
And we have to beat Ralph's Reds now, innit? Next Thursday. But listen, Dan, thank you for coming on. Appreciate your time. Hope to see you again soon. And love Dan, man. People, check out Dan's channel in the description below. Take care, Dan,
Big thanks for having me. Good luck with the show, guys. Love it. Love the concept.
No worries, man. Interesting view from a West Ham fan, Dan, there.
I'm liking this, man. This is nice.
I like talking to opposition fans because it's an unbiased view. It's a view, you know, especially when you're talking West Hams or Wolves, for example. They've got no real connection to Arsenal in terms of rivalry. But we have got a fan coming on now, Aaron, and there is a connection in rivalry there because, you know, a lot of people call us the fallen giants. Manchester United fan Aaron, we're going to bring him in now. Aaron, what are you saying, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
You wasn't smiling last week. How come you got that big smile on your face now?
Well, he's left, innit? He's not on the wall anymore, innit?
Nah, that's because Big Ralph's coming in now, innit? Big Ralph is here.
Bro, all right, Aaron, let me start quickly with this then. What, you think Big Ralph can make Ronaldo press, or?
Now, the main reason why I'm happy that Ralph is in is because of the work he's done at, at board level. So many teams, prior to coming to us. Leipzig, Hoffenheim, he's got the ability to work at board level. He's got the ability to coach, and on top of that, he's got an eye for talent as well. Just to put a few names out there of players he's discovered and scouted and who today play at the highest level: Joshua Kimmich, you've got Keita, you've got Konate, you've got Nkunku, you've got the list goes on and on. So many players he's discovered. Roberto Firmino at Hoffenheim, and he's single-handedly responsible for us knowing who Leipzig is today. Haaland, Mane, like there's so many players out there he scouted and brought out to the Red Bull teams, whether it's Salzburg or Leipzig, and today we know those players for who they are, and I'm just very, very excited for him to come in and restructure the whole of Manchester United at board level, because I think for the last 3 years, it's just been a shambles, man. As much as we criticise the manager and et cetera, I think at board level, a lot of people were to blame as well. So yeah, I'm happy that he's coming in now.
He's very respected in German football, very respected. Probably the most respected
world
manager.
football.
As a German myself, because I was born and raised there, I'm so delighted for him to come in. When I was growing up there in school, if you didn't know who Ralf Rangnick was, people were looking at you funny, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you play football, but you don't know who Rangnick is. Like, that's how much he's got, how much respect he's got in Germany. He's a household name in German football. And I can't wait for the English people to meet him as well and discover what he's all about.
Let me ask you something, Aaron. Does this appointment fill you with more optimism for this season than his 6 to 7 months he has, or for the 2-year role it seems like he's getting in terms of the backroom stuff? Are you optimistic now about this season and getting that top 4? Because I guess that is the bare minimum now. Or does this appointment fill you with more optimism for long term and potentially top 4 might be at risk this season? How do you see it?
I think top 4 is possible, but I'm more excited about the 2-year consultancy role that he got. Apparently he's going to be given full reins, and I'm happy about that. Obviously, the likes of Fletcher, the likes of John Murtough, and I think even Woodward are probably going to stay at the club, but they're all going to be listening to that guy because he knows exactly what he's doing. So if he comes in and says, listen, this has to be done, they're not just going to say no. They're going to listen. And obviously a decision's going to be made, but you've got someone there who knows exactly what needs to happen for the club to be successful. So I'm very excited for the 2-year consultancy role that he got. And if we're successful, I can see that role being extended, maybe another 2 years. So you could potentially have Rangnick at the reins for 4 years. Could you imagine what you can do in 4 years' time? That's crazy, man.
Aaron, you're not worried though? You're kind of getting on the same wave when Ollie stepped in and he took over, and the Man United fans got, obviously, he had a good run, Ollie, at the beginning, and they got well over carried away, give him a deal, sign him, Ollie at the wall. Do you worry about, you getting too ahead of yourselves with Rangnick, or do you think his past and his credentials are all kind of solidify that?
I hear you, but you know what? I think, let's say he comes in and we go on a mad run and we even win a trophy. Let's just say that.
Okay, yeah.
I think if Manchester United offer him the permanent role, he's genuinely going to decline it because I think he actually enjoys working behind the scenes more than he does coaching. I actually believe that he suggested to have that board role and Manchester United went, nah, we're looking for an interim coach. And he went, you know what? Yeah, let me just take it. Bearing in mind that he's actually good at coaching as well, but he loves working behind the scenes so much that he was like, you know what? I'm going to take that 6 months, coach the team, and then fall back and give it to someone else.
Yeah, they're excited over that. You're excited about the short term and the long term, Aaron. Are you optimistic and excited for this Sunday? Chelsea away, league leaders, I guess title favourites at the moment too. Are you optimistic? Obviously, he's not coming in for that game. He's coming in for the Arsenal game next week. But when a big appointment happens, sometimes the buzz in the dressing room can create a short-term bounce. Do you see that potentially happening Sunday?
Oh, that's another story. Because Sunday, I don't think anything positive is happening. I mean, Chelsea are flying right now. Carrick's still here. McKenna's still here. Phelan's still here. So Ollie's gone, but he's still here, if that makes sense. So, because they all think the same way. They all have the same way of thinking, same tactics, same approach to games, even in terms of personnel. I mean, we all thought Ollie's gone, so McTominay and Fred, that's dead now. No, they're still playing. So I don't think we'll see much change in terms of personnel, in terms of way of playing. I think we'll very much still rely on individual brilliance. So probably Sancho can make something happen. Ronaldo can make something happen. Bruno can make something happen. So it's very much going to be the same thing. So I'm not expecting us to, create a miracle at Stamford Bridge on Sunday.
Yeah, Aaron, let me ask you, because I want to ask you what you expect from United this season. Because for me, my expectations changed for Arsenal. It's now like non-negotiable. I want top 6 now. From what I've seen so far, I know it's still early on this season. I want top 6. Top 4 is possible. And the naivety and the hopefulness is saying we could get that, but top 6 is a non-negotiable. For you now, Rangnick coming in, is it a trophy? Is it that 4th position? What are your non-negotiable for this season for United?
It has to be top 4 with the squad we have.
Wow.
It would actually be a disappointment not to finish top 4, man.
Definitely.
Just look at the players we have.
This was meant to be a title challenge season, so I get you,
exactly.
Aaron.
Yeah. Exactly. This was meant to be a title challenge, if not a direct title challenge. I've said at the start of the season, we have to be in the top 3 at least until March. Look at us now. we're struggling to be in top 4 with the squad that we have. So I think top 4 has to be the bare minimum with the squad that we have. If we can add a trophy to this, I mean, the Carabao Cup's out of question for us because we're out. FA Cup, if we can do a thing in there, cool. But yeah, I think top 4 for me is going to be fine, especially given the situation that we're in now with Rangnick coming in as an interim manager. I'm not going to say, come in and just win us a trophy, Champions League, FA. No.
Right.
Get us as far as possible in the Champions League and get us as far as possible in the FA Cup. But top 4 is a must.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter. All right, then, Aaron, we like to end this little segment with your prediction for Arsenal, Newcastle. You're currently 3 points behind us in 8th place. You play Chelsea away and then we face each other. What's the damage going to look like Monday morning? Do you see us beating Newcastle?
You know what? I think Newcastle will actually give you guys a good game despite them being bottom of the league. I'm going to say 2-2. I'm going to say 2-2, score draw.
Is this what you hope, or is this what you think?
Hurts me, bro. Come on, Aaron, man. Come on.
I think this is what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a nice 2-2 draw, entertaining game. But yeah, I think you might win it, but I doubt it.
So even a point puts us 4 points clear of United on Monday morning.
So that makes me a bit more happy.
Yeah, come on. That's our age mates right now.
I know, and man said a nice 2-2 draw. Trust me, there's no nice about 2-2 if we get 2-2 at the Emirates, bro.
Trust me, that'd be a poor start to the weekend. But Aaron, love for coming on and giving us your time. Obviously, we'll get you on again next week before the United big one. Appreciate it as always. And people, in the description, Aaron's channel. Go support it. Love Aaron. Take care,
Love to both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, nice one. All right, cool. On to the next one now. We've got Fuad here coming in for Tottenham. He's representing Tottenham. Here he is.
Tottenham fan. Here we go. What's going on, Fuad?
It's good that we got him on today after that Conference League, you know. Because if it wasn't that, I know Fuad would be coming chest out. Conte, he'd be worse than Tobes. But that kind of, humbled the fan base a bit. What are you saying, Tobes?
What are you saying, Fuad? What are you saying, Fuad?
I think you're on mute.
Oh, you want me on mute? The Zoom problems, fresher. It's all right.
Sorry, yeah.
There we go.
I'm not even trying to talk after that game yesterday, you see, because the way things are going at this club right now, honestly, it's really, really messy.
Bro, someone messaged me, said Tottenham are losing to Mora. I said, bro, Mora was in Love Island a couple of years ago. What are you talking about, fam? How's one woman beating the whole team?
I said, woman being the team, you know.
Man, would say we were losing to NSG, bro. I was like, yo. I even tweeted out yesterday, like, this club hasn't even hit puberty. I think they're 9 years old, literally. They were made in 2000.
And they must be part-time players. They must be. I don't know if they are. I need to check.
They're fifth in the Slovenian league, because that's what I checked.
Slovenia, is that what?
Yeah, so they definitely are, part-time, 100%.
The funny thing is, they lost 6 games prior to this one as well. So you're thinking, like, coming into this, we've got our kind of Conference League hopes on the line. You'd think, some of these players have got points to prove. They'll actually come in and play with some kind of pride and respect on the badge. But lo and behold, same old. And it's the same things I've been saying. I'm sure we'll get into it as well. But with Conte, that he's not going to be coming in and overnight going to change things at this club. There's so much work that needs to be done.
So you come.
I was going to ask you, was it? I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch the game. But did you have a full strength squad out? Not a full strength, but did they have big players out? Because I'm surprised that 2-1 or not. Or was it a week? Was it the young players? Because I feel like you haven't got a lot of depth in your side. So who played?
So we don't have a lot of depth as it is anyway. But who played was basically the B team and the guys who've been basically itching for a chance. The guys like Tanganga, the guys like Ben Davis, Ndombele, Dele Alli, Lucas Moura. You've all been wanting chances. Skip as well. Skip and Kane have probably been the only regulars this season. But aside from that, it was pretty much the B team. But you'd still look at that team and think you should be able to get a job done. You should be able to perform up to standards if you play to the best of your abilities. The problem is, time and time again, we've seen it not just in the Conference League. We've seen it in the Cups. We've seen it last year. We've seen it the year before. It's the same group of players doing the same things over and over again. And I don't know whether it was Einstein who said it, but you keep trying to do the same thing again and again, expecting different results. You're a madman.
Yeah,
you're a madman.
It's just insane.
Yeah, but so far in the league, you're 1 point behind us. Goal scoring and creativity has been a problem for us both. We've both conceded 17 goals. We've scored 13, you've scored 11. And what do you put? You know, even though both problems are very much alike, what do you attribute your one to? Because you have the top scorer in the Premier League over the past 5, 6, 7 years. You've got a son to a new contract. Do you just attribute it to Nuno, or is it deeper than that?
It's definitely deeper than that, and this is an issue that I think that's been going on for maybe 2 or 3 years since Eriksen has left. I don't think there's any kind of natural creators in our midfield. I look at it. There's no guy who's got that eye of the needle final third pass. I feel like Ndombele is great technically, and he's probably a more technical midfielder, but I don't see him as that natural number 10. And I feel like Kane and Son's performances over the last 2 years, with their numbers, with their little tag team action that they've had going on, has papered over a lot of the cracks. And I think Jose managed to kind of get the best out of them, and like the rest of you lot just worry about defending type of thing. Nuno comes in, he doesn't really have that counter-attacking game, and I think it just kind of highlighted how much we're kind of missing in that midfield. And we were linked with Aouar in the summer, and I don't think we've replaced Eriksen fully since he's left. We've tried to get Dele Alli to step up in that role, and instead he's just taken multiple steps backwards. We've had Giovanni Lo Celso, who's coming for 50 million, who's basically been stealing a living for the past 2 years. Because go under the radar that he was bought for 50 million as one of the biggest flops at the minute. But yeah, that's kind of the situation we're in. We're kind of making the best of a bad situation. Kane and Son papered over the cracks, but no creativity in that midfield, no natural width. The fullbacks, I feel like Reguilon is the only one that kind of overlaps and actually provides some kind of outlet out wide, whereas Emerson, who's just come in, hasn't really fully adapted. Before that, we struggled with Aurier and Doherty, so it's a real issue, this squad. And I think now people are starting to realize, with these kind of Spursy moments, whether it's West Ham last year, whether it's getting knocked out by Zagreb, whose manager is sitting in a jail cell, whether it's NSG knocking us out, it's you just see these situations over and over again, and you see the same suspects, and you realize no matter what manager you put in place, whether it's Pochettino, whether it's Jose Mourinho, whether it's Nuno, whether it's Conte, these guys are going to give you that same crap.
Fuad, do you think you're suffering as well from playing in Europe? Has that been a detriment to you guys, or do you think that's not an excuse? Because obviously it always is too many fixtures. Do you think that's affect you, especially when you're going to God knows where?
Bro, 100%. And a lot of Spurs fans were killing me towards the back end of last season after we sacked Jose. The first thing that came out of my mouth was, I guarantee you next season, once the season finished, I saw we were in the conference. I think the final game of the season, we played Leicester. If we lost that, they get Champions League football, we get knocked out of the Conference League spot. And I said, this is the situation we need to go for.
And we get it. I remember that.
You lot get the Conference League. Chelsea miss out on Champions League. I said, this is the one game we actually should lose. Instead, we go and win it. Now we've got the extra game. And I said, Arsenal now, because they've got that open run, they will have one game a week and they will finish ahead of us. Spurs fans killed me and said, no way, no way. I said, watch, you lot think going to Slovenia and taking trips to Kazakhstan ain't going to be taxing on a Sunday when you got to come back and play Burnley again now.
Yeah, even Europa League is taxing, let alone the Conference League.
Facts, bro. So it's going to hurt you. So even if it's not now, because I remember last season, at this point last year, we were in the title race, supposedly. So if we're that far off it now and we're in this situation this early already in the season, I can't wait to see what later on, when all the FA Cup is involved, Carabao later rounds, it's going to be taxing for sure. So I said this season, top 6 is all I'm hoping for. That's my expectation.
That was gonna be my next question, bro. Sorry to cut you. That was gonna be my next question. Is what's your non-negotiable? What's your target for this season? Because obviously you started flying top of the league, and then drastically, slowly started going down the table. But you're saying top 6 then is that's your goal then? Yeah, so that's what you want to see from the side.
Because we've not had Champions League now. Last season we finished 7th place. It's a step forward, and for me, the way I see it is, we're not good enough to be top 4. And we're honestly, even if I look at the top 6 situation, I would say Arsenal, if they finish ahead of us, if Leicester are still there, West Ham keep performing the way they are, Aston Villa creep up, you never know. We might not even be in that picture. So for me, I said this is a transition year with Nuno coming in. Now he's come and gone. Conte's coming, and I think that raised expectations a little bit, where everybody's thinking you've now got a world-class manager. But
I respect that. No, I respect that from you, because a lot of fans would say it was blasphemous you saying you might see Arsenal finish above us, because I've seen most Tottenham fans like, as long as we finish above Arsenal, then, you know, but you're saying, you know what, you're in a transitional period, you're very aware of that as well, you've just got a new manager. Not many fans have the patience to say, let's just take it slow. So I never thought I'd say I respect the Tottenham fans' opinion, but that makes sense. That does make sense.
Before we ask you about the Arsenal-Newcastle prediction, do you think you'll beat Burnley away?
At Turf Moor.
Bruv, it's a tough one. That you were saying at the start, I remember tough Wednesday nights in Stoke, bruv. They had to Burnley now, basically. But what benefit in this game is I think they've got Tarkowski out, they've got Ashley Barnes and Woods out as well. So
that's a big
miss.
Key components for them. So I'm hoping, even though we're kind of slumping it ourselves, I'm hoping we should be able to kind of take the game to them. But Turf Moor, bruv, you can never say that's an easy 3 points.
Turf Moor in the cold, the winter period, bro. If I was playing, I know I would not be up for it, bro. So I don't know what your players like at Tottenham. I know some of our mentality, sometimes Arsenal players.
See the temperature drop this week as well. You know them man are thriving, all short sleeves and everything.
Trust me, it's mad. Fuad, let's end with a prediction for Arsenal and Newcastle. You think we'll get the job done?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we went to Newcastle's ground and caught them with the new owner's bounce and still managed to get a result out of them. So the way I see it is, you guys should be able to go there and comfortably. In all honesty, I see a 3-0. I can't even see them score.
I'd love that still.
I'd love that. Fuad, appreciate you giving us your time. As we said before, people, in the description below, other channels, make sure you guys support everyone coming on. Love Fuad, yeah? We'll talk to you next week.
Bros.
Respect, man. Take care.
Yeah. Last but not least, people, we have Matt, a Wolves fan. Listen, out of nowhere, Wolves have crept into the picture. 1 point behind us. They beat West Ham last week. We know how difficult it is to beat West Ham. Matt, how's it going, mate?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. It could be better. We could have beaten Liverpool 4-0 at Anfield, but it is what it is. We move on to Newcastle now.
Yeah, it is what it is.
How are you feeling though? Beating West Ham 1-0, obviously West Ham won such a high, and now you're 1 point behind 5th position.
You know what? You summed it up brilliantly there. Like it has crept up on us. Like we've lost one game, I think, in the last 5 or 6, and we're going under the radar. No kind of national outlets, no bigger fan channels are saying like you always say like Wolves having a good season, Kilman's having a great season. You're getting absolutely none of it, and you know what? I'm loving it, because we want to go under the radar. We don't want these big clubs to notice that we're doing really well and we've got players in form. So it's important to kind of remain with our heads above water though, because I do think we'll tail off. But for the meantime, it's great.
Yeah, did you expect it? At the start of the season, do you think, we have the players, we have the capabilities to be in this kind of conversation, or is it actually a surprise to you as well as a Wolves fan?
If we were sat here and saying Wolves are 17th, it still wouldn't surprise me. I think with Bruno Lage coming in, obviously a new manager, not that experienced as a manager, but has won titles in Portugal, and the return of Jimenez, who was outside line with a big injury, it was almost like this could go anyway this season. So I'm not surprised to see where we are. Considering the first 3 games, I don't know if you managed to catch our first 3 games against Spurs, United and Leicester.
Yeah.
We absolutely battered all 3 of them, and it was relentless, and we just couldn't put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
And then something changed where we weren't playing as well, but we started to get results, and that's pretty much been the picture since we beat Watford away. But we are quite inconsistent. Like the West Ham game, we absolutely bossed it. We were so much better than West Ham, and they're a top side. We completely controlled the game, but the week before against Palace, we were absolutely terrible. So if we can iron out those inconsistencies, there's no way that we can't get top 7.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think we needed that. We needed you lot to beat West Ham, because if that 4th space is going to be up for grabs, we can't afford teams, getting any more than 3 points away from us. And
I think Wolves are helping with that, Turkish. They are. You're right. We needed that from them. So yeah, big up to you guys. And you just said there, I've asked everyone this as well. I'm going to ask you. You said top 7. So is that what kind of your target? Is that your non-negotiable? What do you want to see as a fan?
No, I don't think it's a non-negotiable. We've got a very, very small squad. We've got 16 first-team players, and we're going into a run of fixtures now where we're playing probably once every 3 or 4 days, like everybody else. We are going to tail off. We need reinforcements in January. Bruno Lage is saying in the summer we have to have reinforcements. Just saying to the board, listen to me, and we brought in nobody in the end. So we will tail off. We don't have enough players, but the board needs to back him in January. Look, you've seen what you can do with a threadbare squad so far. We've got Pedro Neto coming back. We've got Johnny coming back. If we can get another centre-half and another central midfielder, then I don't see why we can't get top 7. But if not, I'd be happy with 8th, 9th, 10th, mid-table. I think is probably the non-negotiable for me.
It's not often I get a chance to talk to Wolves fans, Matt. So I do want to ask you. This goes back a bit, but obviously Nuno, brought you into the Premier League and done well in his first couple of seasons, and then it went pear-shaped. At the time, was you happy about the way that ended? Do you think it was the right decision?
Yeah, I was one of the first fans, especially who just worked with a fan channel, to say like he's got to go. I think it was January or start of Feb in that season when we lost to West Brom at home, which being a Wolves fan, I absolutely detest West Brom, and for all of my lifetime we have been worse than West Brom. We've not beaten West Brom at home since at the Hawthorn since 1996, the year.
Wow!
And this is our chance where we were actually a better side than the Albion, and we could get one over on them. And we ended up losing 3-2 and drawing at the Hawthorns. And that 3-2 we lost at home, you could just tell that the passion had drained out of him. He didn't want to be there. He wasn't enjoying it. And I got absolutely lambasted for saying that he needed to go because he's still got a cult-like figure at Wolves, but. It was the right decision. It had gone stale. I do think if he'd had stayed on this season, there's a possibility that we would have gone down because you could just tell he was just stinking the place out. And even Connor Cody come out himself and said we needed to change, which is rare, isn't it? You don't normally hear players, especially with the armband, to say that you needed a change. But Bruno Lage has come in and he's a breath of fresh air with his media duties. Nuno is very much I don't want to do, and we don't want to talk about anyone. Bruno Lage will come out and just be so expressive and communicate so well, and it's what the fans wanted to hear. And his in-game substitutions are poor, but tactically he's meant to be very good, and the level of insight he gives to the players. Cody's been on record to say like never had anything like it before. So it's looking good, but it's still early days.
Yeah, I think your biggest thing that you're going to struggle with, what you just kind of said at the beginning there, with a thin squad, is kind of holding on to your players, because you've actually got some good gems in your side. I mean, in January, you better hope that you can hold on to them. Do you worry about other teams coming to pinch some of your? You said obviously Neto and you said Jimenez is coming back. Like, these are players that the top clubs might look at and try and pinch. Do you think that's going to be a struggle for you guys to hold on to your?
I don't think in January, no. I think come the summer, it may be the end of a cycle for players like Neves, who has been a Rolls Royce this season. He's kind of reborn on the Bruno Lage. He's playing further forward, and he's probably had one bad game this season. He's an absolute general in that midfield. Everything he does is perfect. You never see him give the ball away. He's honestly a joy to watch. He's really happy in Wolverhampton. He's just had another child recently, and he's settled. But if we're not getting at least Europa League football, you got to think in the summer there could be a chance that he goes. I think there's a chance that Traore may go in January. He's got a year and a half on his deal. He wants to be a top earner at Wolves, but isn't performing like a top earner. So I think they'll look to move him on. So the Jimenez one is a weird one. I still feel that on his day he's world class, and there's not many out and out number 9s in the world who are better than him, especially in the Premier League. But I think that head injury has almost helped Wolves keep hold of him. He's back now, and he's as good as ever. But I think if that hadn't have happened, then I think he may have already gone. But with Neto being injured for such a long time too, I think he's going to be at Wolves for another couple of years. But I think if anyone could potentially go, or people sniffing around, it'd be Max Kilman, the centre half. Didn't really get a look in last season under Nuno. Came from was only from Maidenhead in non-league.
I played against him a few times. Bloody hell, I didn't know that.
Played England futsal, and Wolves bought him for a nominal fee. This season, he has been unbelievable, an absolute rock in the centre of defence next to Cody and Sace. Honestly, like He's an absolute tank. I think he's about 6'5", 6'6". He's brilliant. And I think when you're looking at players like Tyrone Mings getting picked for England, he's streets ahead of Mings. And I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the season if he did get an England call-up.
Yeah, so looking at the weekend, Matt, the fixtures, Arsenal play bottom of the league, Wolves play 19th in the league. Norwich, obviously the only difference between them is in the last couple of games, Norwich have managed to, pluck out a couple of wins. Are you confident of beating Norwich at their own ground?
If you'd have asked me this 2 weeks ago before they got Dean Smith in, I'd say yes. But I feel like it's not going to be the walk in the park that most fans, including Wolves fans, think it's going to be. I think we can go there and get a result by all means, but it's going to be difficult. They've got the new manager, Banks, and Dean Smith's a good coach. I think it's a great appointment, and I think he could potentially keep them up. But I think if we play the same way against West Ham, then we'll have no problems beating them.
Yeah. What about Arsenal, Newcastle? Give us a prediction there.
3-0 Arsenal, mate.
3-0, another 3-0.
They're
yes.
Terrible. They're the worst team I've seen come to Molyneux this season.
Yeah. The richest team in the world and the worst team in the league at the moment. It's all mad.
They are so bad. But you know what? It's Arsenal, so anything could happen.
Yeah, listen, let's fingers crossed you're right, Matt. I'll take a 3-0 all day. Matt, I appreciate you giving us your time. Like I said before, people, in the description below, socials and how to keep up to date. Links are all there. Matt, love for coming on, man. We'll definitely get you on again next time. Hopefully you're still in and around there.
Big up, Matt.
Peace.
Respect, man.
Cool.
I'm taking out these headphones now.
So we're saying.
On holiday. Hey.
Line-up time. Before we go into that, let us know your thoughts on that segment there, talking to fans of opposition clubs around us in the league, getting an idea of where they're at and their targets and prospects for the season. Let us know what you think, because I'm looking to bring this weekly, and I know this one is pre-recorded, but every week this will be live so you guys can engage and we can chat to you guys as well. And love for the love, you know what it is already.
Yeah, proper. And like you said, the fans will change depending on who's around us. So we could drop lower and it might be different conversations.
Yeah, I could have brought a Brighton fan on today because they're in and around too, but obviously I wanted to keep it to 4, so maybe next week, depending on where the league table is and whatnot, we'll obviously rotate guests to get an idea of what's going on around us.
Definitely, and just quickly before we go into our lineups as well, team news-wise, Arteta got us in the press conference saying any team news, there is none. Everyone is available, obviously apart from Xhaka, who's obviously recovering and still in his rehab. But so full squad on that front. And yeah, there was some talk about Wenger coming back in some capacity. So if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go check the press conference, either the statements or on YouTube, it's on there as well, just having him back in any capacity. I don't know if your thoughts on that, Turkish, of having Wenger come back in any capacity.
The way you asked me, you know my thoughts. The less said on that, the better. Listen, I think Wenger, obviously, he deserves the statue. I don't think it's the right time now because we're still reeling off some of the bad business and bad moves that happened during Wenger's time too. Yeah. Not all on Wenger, it's on others too. But I think right now is not the time to be talking about bringing him back or,
to be an advisor or anything, no.
I just don't feel that's beneficial. And some of the statements and things he's come out with post Arsenal management leads me to believe there may be a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's a bit sour about the way it ended.
Right.
He quite often deflects a lot of that responsibility about our decline onto other areas, and I don't think that is needed right now. We've already got enough people in the club that try and ignore the decline, that haven't owned up to it, let alone bringing someone else in that, again, post-management career at Arsenal hasn't owned up to any of what happened.
Agreed.
No one has owned up to it, from Wenger to Kroenke to Gazidis to anyone.
Yeah, a lot of his thoughts and opinions have changed. Like when he did admit a few years ago saying I should have left a bit, I should have left earlier, I should have went
on one hand he should have left earlier. That statement's fine.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when you mention the Man United, when you mention
that's what I'm saying, it's changed now.
It's
come
on, it's okay. You should have left earlier. That's facts. But then trying to throw the Man Uniteds in our face, Real Madrids, and
I could have managed them. I know. I hear that. All right,
I'll take time with my decision on that. I feel like it's way too early. Let's just ride this wave and try and get over the humps that are gonna come, no doubt, in the next season or two, and then maybe entertain the idea when we're back challenging in top 4, hopefully.
Once the process may have gone bang by that time. But let's talk about our lineups quickly. Now I can't get mine up on my phone, but I I think I know it. It's the strongest squad I think we have.
Yep.
I'm changing. Obviously, last week I did the 5 at the back due to it being Liverpool and us going away to Anfield. And what you said, listen, I've been there, I know what it's like. We should just be a bit more of a defensive. I think I went with that. But today, going back to the standard 4-4-2, we've seen like success under with Arteta. Ramsdale in goal. I don't need to explain that. The back 5 we always talk about. Right back, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, and then I'm going to put Tierney in there. I am dropping Tavares up. Do you know what? This is a mad one, but the weather and the coldness and all of that, I know it's crazy. But obviously I know Tavares' performance against Liverpool wasn't great as well. That is definitely a factor of it. But I think Tierney's got a lot to prove coming back straight in. I think this is the game for him. I think he will shine. I think he's got a point to prove to say that this is my position, this is my spot. Tavares, as much as you've played well and you've had your time, you were there to be a backup. So let me just solidify
it's funny because when we was at Liverpool, did you see when the players were warming up? Most of the players were in tights, everything.
And he was in his full
Tierney just comes skin out, just there. You know, Tierney's like Jon Snow for me. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know who I'm talking about. Jon Snow. He's the guy you put at the front when you go fight the White Walkers, and he's the guy that can handle all of the snow and all of that. Tierney is the man for not only this period, but he's also one of the few leaders and characters we have.
It's a mentality. That all wearing no Under Armour, no gloves, no hats, it is actually a mentality. And I applaud it, because when I see players that on a freezing cold day, and I used to play and they're just in their shorts and t-shirt, I'm like, raw. This man, it's mad. He's up for this. But you're right, Tierney. I was glad you mentioned that.
And so far, I agree with your 5. So
cool. So that's the 5, and then obviously on the right we've got Saka, the 2 in midfield, Partey and Lokonga. On the left, Emile Smith-Rowe. Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe have been criticised recently. A lot of game time, performances not hitting the level that we expect of them. I am still going to be keeping a close eye on them. Haven't been sold so far. They still do enough in the side, but I want to see more. Their levels have dropped. And then the front 2, obviously, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Be keeping a very close eye on Aubameyang this week. That is going to must.
And you was asking me a few weeks ago
why I kept asking who's your spotlight, and I'm always like, why are you always saying Aubameyang? Like, come on, man. But this week, especially, I want to see something different from him. I think he got a lot of criticism over the Liverpool game, and rightly so.
Look, we can't hide from the fact that creativity is a problem. Chance creation is a problem. 13 goals in 12 league games is a problem. We can't hide from that fact. And sooner or later it'll catch up to us. So as much as I agree with your back 5 and I agree with Sambi and Partey, I'd change it up a bit. I'd leave Emile Smith on the left. I'd put Pepe on the right. I think Saka needs to be taken out a little bit. Nothing against him, but his workload and his age and the burden on his shoulders, I think, take him out, put Pepe in. When you don't score at Anfield and you fail to really create much, I think it makes sense to change up the attack. So I'd have Emile Smith-Rowe on the left, Pepe on the right. I'd have Odegaard just in front of Partey and Lokonga, and Aubameyang up top.
You're dropping Lacazette?
Listen, Lacazette's got 8 months left. I'm not against Lacazette, I'm not against him, trust me. And what he's brought into the side recently is something. Am I going to say, is it everything? No, because from a striker, you really need goals, you really need assists, you really need a target man. You need that striker, and what he does well is he's physical. He'll win us free kicks and stuff, but that's not enough. In the grand scheme of things, you compare our striker and what he produces to the team we want to get to, even a West Ham with Antonio, he doesn't offer enough. Now with Oba, he is the star man. He is the one that's got longer left on his contract. Something needs to change. Now, play Oba up top, maybe bring Laka on. Yes, it sounds harsh, but in reality, we can't hide from the fact that the attack and transition has been a problem yet again.
Do you not have any doubts of Martin Odegaard? He hasn't been playing well at all this season. Do you have any thoughts?
We have to make it work. We bought him. He's a creative midfielder. He has got quality. We need to start making it work. Otherwise, we'll be in May, end of the season, 5th, 6th, 7th, and we'll be wondering what we need in the summer. When in reality, we don't know. We don't know whether Odegaard's going to work, whether Oba can find form. We need to iron out all these matters now and throughout the season.
This is definitely the game.
Of course, this is the season for it, not just the game for it. This is the season now to finally iron out the last bits required, because we've made a massive overhaul in the past couple of years. Credit to the team for that, credit to the board and whatnot, because it's needed. Fresh back 5 needed, but now is put the icing on the cake that you lot are baking. That's how I see it, yeah.
Like that.
To put the bang that Arteta was talking about in this
Yeah.
process, it's time now, and I think this season is where we iron that out.
Wicked.
So that's my lineup, people.
Yeah.
Cecil's lineup there. Let us know yours in the comment section below. And let us know your general thoughts, predictions, lineups, key man, key battle. Would you take St. Maximin? Do you like the idea of this show? Do you want to see it every week? I enjoyed it. Cecil, what about
I
you?
enjoyed it. You were asking them, man, for an essay in the comments.
Yeah, can I put that in the comments, man? I read you guys' comments and
Yeah,
I
sure we
engage
do,
with it.
we
So
do.
I need to know that what we're delivering is good for you guys. That's the most important thing.
Exactly, it is for you guys. And I want to say on that as well, thank you as well to everyone watching for the support on all the shows as well. Just, we don't really say it enough. Yeah, so thank you and for supporting a lot of the shows as well. But
Yeah, love for the love. What better way to put it, people? Hit the like button on your way out. Peace. We're back next week.